Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Revv Evolution. And today we bring you the all-new Suzuki Swift Sports. No, not this one, that one. Right folks, it's now time to give you those details of the all-new Suzuki Swift Sports. First of all, it comes with a 1.4-litre booster jet engine, and with mild hybrid technology, what it means, it comes with a 48-volt lithium-ion battery. I don't know if you recall, the Swift only had a 12-volt, and this also comes with an ISG, or integrated starter generator, with a 48-volt DC converter. The Swift only had a 12. And being a mild hybrid, what it means for you as a driver, it means that you save tons of fuel and of course, lower emissions. And the biggest difference of course between this and the Swift is that it comes with a 6-speed manual transmission, and for those of you who love shifting those gears, I think you'll find the Swift a really good driving experience. Right folks, now time to find out more of the exterior of the all-new Suzuki Swift Sports. First thing you notice that it has a bigger grille, okay, to give it that whole sportier look, along with some nice carbon fiber trimmings. And at the side of the car, we also see some nice carbon fiber trimmings to add to that sportier feel. And at the rear, dual exhaust pipes with more carbon fiber trimmings. Well folks, now that we've covered as much information as we can about the exterior and the interior of the car, it's now time to get behind the wheel and give you more about the driving experience of the all-new Suzuki Swift Sports. Hey guys, it's Renee, and right now we're in the driver's seat of the very sporty Suzuki Swift Sports. And right off the bat, okay, the first difference, I think the main difference between this and the Swift is the fact that this has a 6-speed manual transmission. So unfortunately, if you don't know how to drive a stick shift, you won't be able to have the pleasure of driving the Suzuki Swift Sports. Okay, so what I'm going to do basically is very similar to the Swift. We didn't really give you too much information about the exterior and interior, because with a car like this, it's more about the whole driving performance that you get behind the wheel, which is exactly what I'm going to do right here, and give you more information about the car. And let's now talk about some of the differences between this and the Swift. First of all, one thing you'll start to notice as you drive the Swift Sports is the fact that it seems a bit more stiffer in terms of the suspension. You get a bit of a harder ride, and that's exactly, I think, the way Suzuki wanted it, because with the Swift Sports those corners in the road, and it really, I did actually try it, and actually did feel that the difference between this and the Swift in the sense that this car seems to be more stable around corners, especially at speed. And of course, with speed, you want to have also a lot more control on the chassis. And with the Swift Sports, what they have is they have more solid roll bars, and once again, this all aids in the whole how the rigidity of the car itself as you take those corners at speed. Okay, so you can actually feel it when you drive the car. And also, other things that when you talk about sports, things that you also need to have in your car is more powerful brakes. From what I tested between this and the Swift, the brakes do seem to be more powerful than its brother. And the other thing about having a sports car is the fact that, well, with a turbocharged car especially, what you need is a bigger radiator. And what the bigger radiator means is it actually allows for better cooling. Alright, and with better cooling, also, as you know, with turbocharged cars, you need more airflow into the engine, more airflow being pushed into the engine, more cooler air, and once again, this really aids in the performance of the Suzuki Swift Sports. Okay, so in terms of other differences between this car itself, I think the most obvious difference is the fact that this has a higher horsepower. The Swift Sport has 127 horses with 235 Newton meters of torque, and I think the benefits of the fact that with a manual transmission, you can actually control the kind of drive that you want. All right, for example, I'll give you an example right now. Okay, I'm gonna drop it down to second gear. Okay, and immediately I get a kind of pull that I want, and I can actually control how I want to drive. But this, and with the automatic transmission, it's very difficult to do that because you're leaving it at the mercy of the car to control the kind of revs that you get. So I think if you love to be in full control of the car, you'll definitely love how the Swift Sports feel. The other thing that really impressed me, as it did in the Swift, the fact that this has tons of safety. I'm not kidding you. I'm really impressed with the fact that for the price that you're paying, which is around 110,000 Sing, you get all those safety features, things like your dual sensor brake support, you get your adaptive cruise control, you get your lane departure warning, your weaving alert, and really just tons and tons of safety features being added to this car. And also, not forgetting, we also have Tpms, or the tire pressure monitoring system. So if you happen to have a tire that's low, you happen to be low in air underneath the tires, you're actually getting having an alert on the car. But let's now talk about the overall driving experience of the Swift Sports. And initially, I thought you probably think that with manual transmission, not many people are actually going to want to buy this car. But as I was driving along the roads in Singapore, easily I kind of spotted at least about 6 of the Swift Sports on the road, okay, in a different color variation. So the Swift Sports, being a manual transmission, is quite popular, I would say, for Singapore motorists who really, especially those who had into the Swift since back then, okay, since the 80s and 90s. Okay, I see a lot of them on the road. So these are the guys that really love the Swift Sports. And once again, I think the fact that it's being affordable at 110,000 with all that savings that you get, I think with the VES banding and everything, it's really one of the better priced sports cars out there. And another advantage of the Swift Sports is the fact that it's not that heavy in the car of its class. It's about 1020 kgs, and I think for a 1.4 liter turbocharged cars, it's probably one of the lightest in its class. Okay, and that once again, being lighter, it all adds to the kind of performance that you're gonna get out of this car. So if you love a car that's a nice compact hot hatch that's going to give you a really pleasurable drive in terms of you being in full control of the car, I think you're going to love how the Suzuki Swift Sports is going to suit your lifestyle. Alright, so other than that, I think, folks, we've about covered as much information about the Suzuki Swift Sports. And if you want to find more information, of course, do visit our website. And if you missed the earlier video that we did on the Suzuki Swift, if you watched the earlier part of the video, I actually gave you a link. Alright, for now, that's as much information I'm going to give you right here on the Swift Sports. And this is Renee once again, signing off.
Well, now time to summarize our drive experience with the all-new Suzuki Swift Sports. And just like its sibling, being a mild hybrid is going to save you some money at the pump. And for me personally, I do love manual transmissions. So if you happen to love manual transmissions, you're going to really enjoy the drive, especially shifting on through those gears and getting into the real sporty feel of driving the all-new Suzuki Swift Sports. And the biggest advantage, especially if you're in Singapore, is the fact that because it comes under the VES branding, you actually get a savings of about $15,000, which to me is really one of the biggest advantages of driving driving the Swift. We want to say a big Revv Evolution thank you to our friends over at Suzuki for allowing us to have the Suzuki Swift Sports for our presentation. To find out more about Revv Evolution, whether it's about cars or lifestyle, do remember to check out our website right over there. Till we catch you again, this is Renee, signing off.